open the meeting for the Town of Barre Finance Committee. First up on the agenda, we have a slew of meeting minutes to review and approve. Has everyone had a chance? I feel like some of these we already went through before, or no?
We didn't have these are the ones we did not submit to the town clerk yet.
All right, well, maybe we'll need them twice.
Right. We'll look at them twice.
Yes. So for the meeting minutes of May 10th, 2022, does anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns on these minutes?
Nope.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes for 5/10/22.
It's nice.
All in favor?
Aye.
The meeting minutes for May 24th, 2022. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
I don't know which one it was, but it was spelled wrong.
Oh, yeah, those names.
Yeah, but I can't remember.
Do you remember whose name it was?
Yes.
It began with a P.
Yeah, it's Lipson.
Oh, Sam Lipson?
Mr.
Sam
Yes.
Lipson?
Okay.
Well, on 5/24, his name looks to be correct.
Okay, that's good. Maybe 5/10. I saw it somewhere. Oh, maybe it was changed since we sent it to.
As in others present.
Right.
Lipson?
Yes.
Yes.
This was a different name that I
Oh,
know.
really?
Yeah,
Oh.
PAR something. I'll look down through because it was on.
I don't think it's on the 24th.
Yeah.
Was there any questions, comments, or concerns for the meeting minutes from May 24th? This is the meeting where we went through all of the articles.
Yeah. If I find it, I'll let you know. That was the only thing.
This one basically just has our names in it.
Yeah.
Okay, right? 24?
Yeah, that's on that.
Yeah, I think it's on the next. So do we want to have a motion?
Yep.
Make a motion to,
I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes.
Second.
Up 5/24.
yeah, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. On to the minutes for the public hearing from May 31st, 2022, and I feel like this is where we have a typo in Mr. Lipson's name as other present. If we can have that adjusted to Lipson. Make a note for that. And was there, let me see here, I didn't notice anything else off the top of my head. Any questions or concerns on these minutes?
I wasn't at that meeting, so.
From the 31st?
No.
I'll make the motion, we accept the meetings for 5/31.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. And on to the annual town meeting minutes from June 14th, 2022. And I believe that's all gonna be,
It's like nothing, yeah.
yeah, it's just gonna defer to the town
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from June 14th.
Second.
clerk. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, me.
All right, so we do not have any old business at the moment. And we'll move on to new business of interdepartmental, I have a hard time saying that, transfers. Gets me every time. Can only say it once in a night, so I'm just gonna say the transfers from this point forward. I did have a chance to look through these. Looks pretty standard, so we ended up with an overage
Correct,
of 322.83 and 96.
correct.
My question is kind of a general question. This is dated June 30th. Was the funds haven't been transferred yet until we okay it, or were they done on the 30th?
Well, yeah, they're not supposed to be transferred until the selectmen and finance committee approval.
Right, so they haven't, it hasn't been done yet?
No.
And the select board has already approved,
Yes.
Yeah, at the last meeting.
so we're the final piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's find something, bitch about.
Let's make Jean's job a little bit harder.
Do you agree with them all, Jean?
Excuse me?
Do you agree with them all?
She's the one that did them.
Yeah,
Well, I'm the one that did them, yeah.
but there's no up in the air things that you might question
No, I mean,
at all?
the major ones, I'll just go through with you guys a little bit. The major ones were, the treasurer collector's office salary, because we had to bring in a temp.
Yeah.
Okay, so that cost us more than we had budgeted for. Public safety building always goes over a big amount, never budgeted enough for that. Police department, Chief Carbone left, so they had a lot of overtime, a lot of part-timers, and, an acting chief for a while. The other big one was the fuel account, which everybody knows what happened to the fuel, so that was a huge one. Even the library, some of the library stuff, our library director left, and we had a new library director now too, so everybody was covering shifts and everything. So, for the most part, pretty much they're the same,
Yeah.
except that they were just huge. A lot bigger than normal. But with everything that happened this past year, that was, unavoidable.
Mhm. And then we have the capital improvement pay down, that wasn't budgeted enough. And so that was 2 years in a row that we hadn't budgeted enough, but this year, we are confident that we have the correct number from our financial advisor.
So that represents 2 years pay down?
This is 1 year pay down, and the same thing had to happen at the previous fiscal year where there was, a transfer that had to cover the gap.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And that amount is a planned amount
Yes,
from now on?
yes,
Per year? Get rid of that banner.
right.
Thank you.
And on the town hall roof article that was rescinded, that's appropriate to have it here on the transfers?
Yeah, because it's being closed out.
Okay. What about the finance committee, there were, in their reserve account, there was extra money, but I didn't see that on here, that's not included as a transfer, or?
Well, I try to
I'll
go
go
for
to
the
free
big
cash.
stuff, because
Okay.
it's easier to put big stuff
Okay.
against big stuff than to do all the little stuff.
But that'll just roll over to free cash.
Yeah,
which is good.
anything, yeah, so luckily we had enough to cover everything.
Mhm.
And like I said, I try to stay within budgets, first of all, Like you'll see like the select board expenses, 1842, and up above you'll see town administrator assistant salary, negative 184208.
Yep.
So I try to stay within the departments and move as much as I can, but then when you start getting the big stuff, like the fuel and the police department and the,
Mhm.
you know, that van pay down, then I tend to go, if you look towards the bottom of the sheet, I started picking up all the big stuff,
Okay,
veterans benefits, health insurance, SUI, unemployment, money tech assessment. I started picking up all the big stuff
Yep.
to cover to cover it. So what we ended up with, we're gonna close out of appropriations, which would include the finance committee's balances and anybody else's balances, was 79,183.
so that's how much extra was left?
Yeah, that's what's gonna close into for the free cash calculation.
That was 79 what?
79,183.08.
18308, okay. Streetlights were over, we talked about streetlights, is any progress with national,
I want to say they're all replaced at this
oh, they
point.
all replaced already?
Yes.
Okay,
Due to the volume of calls that I've got that the streetlights are too bright, I know at least a good portion of streetlights have been replaced.
The one in front of my house hasn't been.
The one in front of your house is okay. I know
No, it's
they've been
great.
working through the summer. I don't know if it's been,
Yeah.
what percentage they've been doing at a time, but I know that over the summer they were working.
And what was the cost to the town for that operation?
There's no cost to the town.
So
We just continue to pay the bill
But the power
for
company
the power.
actually changed it so their bill
Yep.
would go down?
Yep.
Well, hooray for them.
Yeah, well, because when, there's a benefit to National Grid for us not drawing so much power off the grid,
Good.
with like the LED lights, so, they see the benefit to it. They see the benefit enough to do it
I'll say
at
it.
no cost to us. But, I mean, there was the opportunity for us to purchase the lights, which
Right.
a lot of communities do, because in larger communities, a lot of times it does make sense
Right.
to do that. But for us operationally,
Right.
we would have to contract with people to maintain the lights. If, a car crashes into a pole, and then we have to hire somebody to put the light back on, because we can't ask just anybody to put the light back on. It has to be somebody with certain credentials, so it would be a lot more complicated for us to
Yeah.
own them. But there is an incentive. Our bill will go down with the new streetlights.
Right. Good. About time, I'll say.
Yes. Yes.
And we can always talk about cable too, but we won't talk about that now.
and there was decent savings, right, on the EMS salaries, was that through the reorganization?
EMS was
Yeah.
overtime.
You went to more, did he go to more,
So the overtime saving, or because it was more full-time folks? Is that, I'm reading that correctly, right?
Well, the EMS salaries is not the overtime salaries. We're looking at
looking
the
at-
22,000.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
billing. That's coastal billing.
Okay.
They bill all our medical from the ambulance.
oh,
Okay.
Outside company.
and same thing, that would be the same thing with the town road salaries? Is that position that Jason wasn't able to fill, is that what that's part of?
Yes, that would be
That and the
Right.
commons and cemeteries?
right. Well, the common and cemeteries, that's a different line item. Are you talking about the different line item towards the
Yeah,
bottom?
yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
That's similar, yeah, same issue. And then, the health insurance, we have a $68,000 balance because we budget the full amount
Mhm.
at the beginning of the year, but we always pay prior to the deadline, and then we have a significant savings by paying before August 1st. So we always have a lump sum of money that's left over in that account.
And so did the youth commission use them? Because I know we talked to them.
They did not use the money last year.
Did
That was
they
part
have-
of the discussion when they came in
Yeah.
for the budget this year, was that there is the expectation that they will have events or they risk losing funding.
Did they run anything up here? I know that volunteers are hard to come by these days.
To my knowledge, they haven't run anything,
Not for a couple of years.
right,
Yeah, since
not
COVID.
since COVID.
Yeah. You know, hopefully they get back at it, you know, would be a good service. I think the youth, the town would probably take advantage of.
Yeah, we have a lot of things for them to do upstairs, and in general, it'd be a good service to the kids. Dan, are you volunteering?
My volunteer power is, it's at max capacity.
I kind of thought so.
Between this and baseball, and they wanted me to try volunteering for soccer, and I was like, sorry, I don't have the extra time. Does anybody else have any questions on the transfers? I think we're good. You know, we'll take some notes. You know, we can discuss with some of these departments, especially in the overages, as we get through the into the 2023, 2024 budget cycle. And all right, so make a motion to approve the interdepartmental transfers of fiscal year 2022.
Yeah, I'll make a motion, we okay the transfers
Okay.
from interdepartmental transfers.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. We have to sign those before we leave, or does that just need to get approved?
I don't have a copy for you guys to sign, but I can have one printed up and
I
I
was.
think one signature, or do we need a majority of the signature? Okay, well, I'll make sure to catch you guys all.
Okay.
I'll track you down.
And let's see, and we can close out the books without the signatures?
Well, I think the one with the signatures has to be uploaded onto DLS.
No,
No? Oh, okay.
no, I just need it for the file with the auditors.
Okay, understood.
But you guys, there's voted, so we're all set.
Great. New business, the annual budget directive, always a favorite.
Yes, so I decided, since we're here and I'm gonna be going on vacation in the beginning of November when we usually have this discussion, we could start the discussion a little bit earlier and, you guys can give any feedback or input for tonight, and if we need to have another meeting before November, we can, and your schedules allow for that, we can do that and send this out before I leave, to give department heads just an extra couple of weeks to read through it, and if they have any questions, can.
From last year, roughly what percentage of department heads filled out all that you asked for?
It was probably 50% of
50%.
departments. I would say probably about 50% of
And
departments.
who would actually address that fact? We'd like to see it from more people.
So this year I added at the end that the department has to sign and acknowledge that they've received and read the letter. And what we can do is we can, put those letters in the personnel folder and hopefully have a little bit more teeth behind actually following through with what is on here, whether it's the information that we request in the memo, or even just as simple as following through when they have a meeting time scheduled with the finance committee.
And, I mean, is help available if somebody didn't know how to make out a departmental organization chart?
Oh, yes, of
So-
course,
There would be, you from your office would,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
that's what I mean, cause some of these people may not be used to doing this.
Right,
Okay.
and then some departments who have done it already, and then they just
Yeah,
gotta
well, it's.
bring it in from last year.
It's human nature.
Yeah, it's like you do it once and you never have to do it again, unless your department changes.
Okay, that's my spiel.
So make sure they sign before they come in.
Right, I did say that
We
they,
can't review the budget until they have signed that they,
right, I do have, that they need to sign and return the letter by November 1st, which depending on when this goes out, that might have to be changed. But, you know, that's just, I think that's one step in the right direction to doing a little bit more accountability
Yeah.
of the departments.
and then maybe we can, if they don't have all the information that's on the letter that's requested, we can say, well, you didn't do this and you didn't do this.
Right, and come back
To
when
kind of
you have.
back you up for,
Right, I mean, one way you can say is we won't meet with you until you have all of that information, but then we also don't wanna
right,
burden the finance committee with departments that are delinquent on their responsibilities,
Right.
especially as we get towards the end of the budget season.
50%. Maybe we'll go for 70 this year.
Maybe.
Small ones.
100%,
60.
100%. We'll get it.
That's good.
And then these meeting dates are based off of Tuesdays, again, if that still works for everybody's schedule.
But I don't think the dates line up. I think you have dates from 22 in here.
Not 23.
I didn't check.
Yeah, they all say like January 12th, 2022.
Oh, you know, I didn't change it from 2022 to 2023. It's
No.
it's the right day.
No, because January 12th, 2022
That's
is
a
a
Thursday. I said
It's
for
at 10.
Then
the
that-
budgets to be due, I
Oh,
would give them
okay.
to the Thursday, and then for the budget,
the meetings.
for me to present the budget another Thursday. But as far as the meetings with the different departments, those are on Tuesdays. I just have to change it from 2022 to 2023.
Oh, meeting on Valentine's Day
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough one.
gets me out of town.
Well, I think this is gonna be a quick one, so
That's
you
your-
might
yeah,
not
yeah,
be
yeah,
out.
yeah.
You might be not be out of the woods.
So these are the only dates that we're gonna be meeting.
These are the Tuesdays.
These are the tentative dates. So, I mean, they could always, if that's a special town meeting or
Right.
as we get closer to the budget, the annual town meeting, you know, we may
We
have to
might need
meet
to put in
more,
others, but this
yeah.
is like for the most part,
Yeah.
when,
Like a
Mhm.
when we'll be here,
skeleton.
yeah.
What about the 250th? We probably should meet with them again as well. Are they in
Okay.
here?
Yeah, we can add the 250th in there.
Just to see where they're at.
Yep.
Because I know they're probably gonna looking to have an article at the next special.
Yep. So how about on the 14th with the other kind of smaller?
Yeah, either on the 14th or we can, you know, towards the end
Okay.
in March.
Okay. Maybe.
Is this is a similar schedule as last year, correct?
Yes, it's just it's the same weeks as last year, just moved up a day to maintain the Tuesdays.
Yeah, so at the fire, not with the fire department. You could probably put them in with the police.
Sure.
The week of February 28th. Dispatch, because I mean,
That's pretty quick.
depends on how many questions come up, I guess.
Mhm.
Right? It happens every week. Fire tends to run long, schools run long. And these are tentative dates again for the public hearing and the town meeting.
Yep.
But it falls in line, right? We normally have the town meeting that,
Yeah, the town meeting is typically the second Tuesday of the month of June, so. And then like, the public hearing is probably, can be a more flexible date.
Yeah, I think that's fine for now. We got plenty of time to adjust if need be.
Yeah.
So other than the calendar changing to 23, I think it looks good to me. Anybody else have any questions, comments on the letter or the schedule?
I think I'm good.
Should we do a vote do we need a vote to approve that, or no? Are we good? I forget.
No, you guys can vote to approve the budget
Yeah.
letter
Yeah.
if you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, I read through, that was good.
And this year you're sending it out, and you've sent it out an email. I think we talked about this, right? You're gonna send it out an email again?
Yeah, I'll send it out in email, probably put a red receipt on it to make sure that, that's one way of verifying that somebody's opened the email, and then request that they sign and return it. If I can send it out tomorrow, then I can have it signed and returned back to my office before I leave on the 28th, so.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
gives them about, a little over 2 weeks to sign and return it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say it looks good. It's like, there's just some of the days, like the January 12th, it's 22, so you wanna change that to 23.
Yeah, all of them are 2022.
Yeah, this is in the body of the letter though, too.
Oh, okay.
And then like, should number 5 be FY 23 or FY 22? Because we're in 23, so it'll probably be 22, right?
Yeah, if we wanna do a look back on the last complete fiscal year,
Yep.
it'll be 2022.
Understood. All right, do we wanna make a motion on the letter and schedule?
The motion, we accept the letter, budget request for budget year 24, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I think that's all on the schedule. Is there anything you guys wanna talk about, like, open discussion?
How's the, yes. How is the new computer program going with the finance?
The transition to
Transition,
Vadar.
Yeah.
It's been a little slow over the past couple of months.
Mhm.
As you know, we've had
Yes,
significant challenges with hiring, and
yes.
our interim treasurer collector went down to 1 day a week. So yes, until next week, we have our new person starting. So, just trying to at least keep some level of osmosis.
Mhm.
I know that Jean's been, working really hard on what she needs to focus on with limited access to the treasurer collector. So, but hopefully, once we get this new treasure collector next week, we're gonna be a really good team, and we're gonna be moving ourselves forward. I think we made a great choice, with Jake Volker, and I'm really excited to add him onto the team. He's really excited to meet you all, and, very proactive.
And he's gonna be able to hit the ground running as far as
Oh,
all
yes.
this, yeah, I mean,
Yes.
he's worked with it all before.
What's his background?
He's currently an assistant treasure collector and an assistant town administrator in Dunstable. So he's been in the treasure collector world for a long time. His mom actually used to work here as a treasurer.
What's his name?
Her name is Gabe Volker. And
Yeah.
so he actually you know, he actually came here to Barre to help her in his very early days, you know, starting to learn the profession and everything. So, you know, his roots start in Barre, and he's coming back, and he's very excited. So we're excited to have him, somebody who has the knowledge, and just, you know, the passion to do the work.
Has he worked with Veda?
Yes, yeah, he, that's what he uses now. Yeah.
And with the assistant collector treasurer, is that still open?
It is, I am in the process of making an offer this week, so hopefully, you know, I don't wanna leave Jake in
Yeah.
like, we've worked really hard to get to where we are, to have Jake get a good step, but I don't want to, you know, hurt him by not having an assistant in there. So hopefully we'll have somebody starting within the next couple of weeks.
Great.
So the free cash will be all set by,
I think we're just waiting on some
What do you
final.
think, Jean?
What?
free cash?
Free cash?
We're still closing. I mean, we're still working with the town to get stuff closed. I met with her today, and we're in good shape, but it's a lot of work left to do.
Right.
To put everything together now and get it.
But
Think-
probably in better shape than recent years.
Yeah, I mean, it's only October.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Rather than
Yes.
July.
Yeah, we're moving, you know, in a similar time frame to most other communities, so,
Excellent,
yeah,
excellent.
Still gonna take some time.
Thank you, Jean.
To put
Thank
it
you
all
very
together.
much.
yeah.
A lot of hard
Do
So,
we-
I think I'm gonna just say that Vadar, we're not going on Vadar till we have books closed, because there's no
No.
point in me trying to learn a new system and working in two systems, and it's not happening. So until we get the final numbers back and done, we're not moving forward on that. Because we still have to do training too,
Yeah,
which means training for the clerk in my office and training for me, and so,
definitely, yeah.
training for Janine,
Yeah,
so,
I wouldn't recommend
what?
switching to Veda until you close.
Oh, no,
You
no,
can't.
we're gonna go with final 22 balances,
Yeah,
all balanced, with
Yeah.
everybody balanced, because it's not gonna work otherwise. So.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, I don't know if it's a question or not. I wonder about the transparency, like on these transfers that just sort of moved over, is that online anywhere? I could have been looking at that? That document that you guys were referencing?
I mean,
Is there
like-
anywhere I could have looked at that online
It would have been on
before this meeting?
the select, it would have been on the select board's agenda last week. It's on our agenda
Is
today.
that published, so that document is part of the documents that's attached to the selectmen's meeting?
I would have to check with my assistant, but she uploads all the documents after the meetings.
So my whole motion here is I want transparency. I think it's really important for the advancement of a civil society to have transparency from the government. And so I'm advocating strenuously that we do something about that, you know. I tried to have something at the town meeting to say, you know, department heads, let's have your reports online, let's have some trackability, let's have some knowledge of what's going on in this town.
Can I-
Let's make the town more.
Can I ask what's not transparent, what you feel is not transparent?
Where's the checkbook? Put the checkbook online. If you go to like Amherst, you go to the town of Amherst, you can go through there and it's a pleasure. You can scan what's going on in the town with all the graphs and charts, and it's a no-brainer. And there's money available from CMRPC in order to put this in play.
To hire a person?
I'm not thumping for CMRPC, I'm just saying, that's there. Why aren't we doing this? And why are we in this situation in the first place? And so I wanna ask for more. I wanna ask for everything that you are humanly possible of doing to make this place a better town. Because I am not happy with this town. And I think there's more that we can put here. And there's a lot of talent around town. I mean, I'm not talking about my sorry carcass. You know, just get out there and be advised of what's going on and have some transparency about that, so the citizenry know what's going on, and you would have more support, more, you know, connection to the community.
Mm-hmm. No, I,
You know, we
I understand.
desperately need this.
Phillipston
So,
has
you know, I'm
it
getting on
online.
a soapbox, but, you know, I could go on for hours.
They have
This is
it
what we
all.
need, and it comes down to one word, more.
Because I had to compare.
Do more.
this one, remember that?
You know, don't wait for, you know, the next day, do it.
Understood. I appreciate the comments. I'm not sure if that all
And
falls
one
within the
little
scope.
Sidebar, if I may. When you track those transfers, there are certain departments that have more variation off of what was proposed budgetary to what was actually consumed, and do you actually track those percentiles to each of the categories and attribute value to that, and do a standard derivation off of it, to know which are the outliers, and then find out what the reasoning is
General
behind it.
ledger you get.
Is that something, am
Sure,
I
sure.
Yeah, we got,
asking a fair question?
We get
those
that.
are posted in all of our meeting minutes. If
Well,
you,
no, I'm just, you know, there's needs more, we need to change, and it's not, you know, I mean, there's people here that are nodding, they understand, I think, let's make more of our community.
no,
All the way
I
around.
understand what you're saying.
I mean, I don't know what's going on in this town, I mean, they dig up all the roads, I mean, I can get.
All right, I'm gonna hold you up though.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
'cause
maybe
we're-
just-
this is- you're getting off
let's
track,
have
but-
more instead of less.
Mr. Andrews, you're
I'm
getting off,
done.
yeah, I know, thank you. You're getting off track. I understand what you're saying. We also have to understand the scope of the finance committee and what we do here.
Well,
That doesn't really all fall under-
Standard derivations.
Yeah, no, but it doesn't really all fall under what, I do not disagree with being transparent. I'm just not sure all of that falls on this committee
No,
here.
it's just something that's a mindset.
Yep.
So I think we just need to start working with that because it's inevitable.
Mhm.
I mean, every other city around, big cities around us have already done it. Why do they do it? Because they actually got money granted first.
Kiwi's
So-
big.
Why not? We don't have to be the last one to embrace this.
No,
So I ask this town for more.
Could you maybe get a list of small towns that are doing it?
Well, I could just rattle them off right now.
Because I know Phillipston does.
There's a number of towns.
But
The
they're
best
small.
one I found, the easiest to track and the most readable was to go down and look at Amherst.
But Amherst is huge compared to.
It's only 3 times the budget. So, but there's parallelism. Besides, it's the same system, and they cost themselves next to nothing to put it in play. The biggest thing that they had cost them was about $3,000, and they put monitors up so people from outside the building could still watch, you know,
the town
what's
once,
going on.
we once had that information, and what was that? That was before you were on board, right?
That was the clear
I just think
It was
blindsiding people
clear.gov.
constantly, never knowing what the hell's going on.
And that was an expense to the town, correct?
Yes.
Or is that the reason that we no longer use it, or
Why was it
Um,
an expense?
When was it an expense?
why?
Back in 2017 roughly, 2018?
Because it's just running off a report, off of data.
Well, ClearGov,
They're their own
like
entity,
compartmentalizes the information and then spits out graphics, so it's
easy to
takes,
consume.
yeah, so it takes the data and then makes it easy for the consumer to,
Yeah, compares it with
We
other
just
towns.
Yep.
ran the general ledger from data. They did a special one that's in their programs that does an open checkbook.
mm-hmm.
Because I ran it there and it was nothing, I just ran the report and gave it to the one that put it on the screen.
I think we
Once
can
you
do-
get into beta,
Hmm.
because I know they do
That runs some money, yeah.
have it.
No, I mean, I know when the town did have ClearGov on the website, you know, before I was on the finance committee, I think it was on there for like 2 or 3 years, and it did have a lot of the information that, you know, Mr. Enders is requesting,
Mm-hmm.
be on there publicly. But I'm not sure
But
what it would
this
ential
wouldn't
to
be
get the town
anything.
there again.
Yeah, I think the reason why the town stopped using it was, from what I was told, was that it was being used mainly as a budgeting tool. Having public facing information was part of
Mhm.
the software, but the main purpose of it was to be used as a budgeting tool, cause it would, like I said, it takes all the data and then it analyzes it, you know,
Yeah, see,
forecasts
this
and
is just putting
everything.
it out for people to see.
But from what I was told is that you know, everybody who was involved with the finances, whether it was the finance team or the committee, I guess it just wasn't jiving with the way that everybody had been used to doing budgeting. So that's
So
why
that's
they
Amherst
decided.
that you're talking about?
No, this is,
We didn't-
Barry had,
we didn't
we
use-
had at one point, before, like, as I said,
was-
before
yeah,
I was on
it was
the
a
committee here,
special
before Jessica was the
program. This
administrator.
is-
It was on the town website, and you could see in pie graphs and charts, the
Yeah,
dollars
I think all that software
See, we
is
didn't
really
do
readily available, I'm sure, you know, it's open
At an
source.
expense.
We could have it, so why not just start, even we're gonna start small, whatever we can get out, open the door. Let's get something out there, it doesn't have to be perfect. My best information that I learned when I was a kid is, do whatever you do, even if it's wrong, you'll learn from it.
Well, we've
So
got,
let's do that.
we've
let's
gotta
move.
get the books closed
Yeah.
Yeah.
first.
And
We
then,
had a
This
situation
is
with the
on
voting on
last-
the
This is
account.
last year's, it's
And
on the
Yada, yada.
website.
Get it out there and
It's
find
just-
out where
it's
the
a
flaws
general
are.
ledger.
I know is you're gonna have,
yeah,
you're
and
gonna have
that's
issues.
under the
Just
finance
so
committee.
it's
or-
an out.
Yeah, it's under finance
They
committee
threw it
meeting
onto
minutes.
the
It's just
screen.
not,
I mean, it's just,
it's not easy to, if you're not looking for it, it's not easy. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand,
yeah,
I
I'm just saying
get
it is actually there, so.
you know, well, I mean, like I said, I think, you know, the next steps would have to be determining, you know, whose responsibility that falls under. You know, we have a treasurer collector coming in, is it a select board decision? Is it gonna have a cost to the town? What that cost is gonna be? Transparency, I agree with, but can it fit within our budget? So there's a lot of questions we would have to figure out and get answers to before, you know, you can just say, hey, let's do this. Because the information that you're looking for is online. It's just not it's not in a nice format that you can find, like, see and find.
And it's everything you put out there is posthumous. By the time it makes it to the town clerk's office, back to the body to vote on it, for the minutes to be out there, and maybe the board only meets once a month, it's ancient history. Why don't you put out the minutes provisionally, like other towns do, and then accept them? Don't be shaken. Provisional is only just, it's just out there, it could be amended. It's provisional, that's what the word means. Why are you blocking this? This is exactly what we need, so we can see what's going on.
I mean, I don't think anyone's blocking
Why not?
anything, but yeah,
Is
at
it
least not
secrets?
not on this committee, you know.
State secrets?
Yeah,
Publish it.
we're pretty open, you know, I don't think
Well,
that's,
yeah, I don't think, I don't see anybody armed here either, so that's a good thing.
but the,
We've gotta get the books closed so we can
Yeah.
get our free cash and then fully pay our.
we're gonna get back, I appreciate your comments, but we're gonna stop there for the
I
meeting.
appreciate you taking.
Yeah, thank you for your time, and we're
I
gonna,
think I've been heard enough
yeah,
anyway.
no, absolutely, we appreciate it. If there's anything else for discussion for the finance committee?
Is there any way possible to an addendum? I'd like to have 2 more seconds.
No, we're gonna be done for tonight.
Totally different issue.
Nope, we're gonna be done for
Very
tonight.
germane.
Nope, the finance committee's here to have business, I have other stuff to commit
We've
to.
already had it out there. All right.
Thank
good
you.
enough.
Any other business?
I can think of. Other than like the cable situation, what's happening there? I mean, this isn't relevant,
Yeah.
I suppose, to the finance committee meeting
No,
right now.
so we have two different projects going on with that. There's Spring Hill Road
Mhm.
that we are working with I forget, the DG Matrix, that's the name of the vendor. So I actually just heard from them today, and we have our cost estimates from, Verizon.
Really?
So now we're just waiting on National Grid's cost, estimate, and again, this has been months in the works. And then the other side of the coin is working with Spectrum to try and get a updated cost estimate to connect the rest of the community. So I am still trying to get a response from their government affairs person on that. So-
From who?
From their government affairs person.
Oh.
So he's the one who will be able to give me a final price. And so I've been pestering them
Yeah, good, that's good, you gotta do.
as I've
What
been asked.
percentage of residents don't have internet or?
90 people, right?
We have a pretty high percentage that is connected. It's less than 10% of residents that are not connected. We have too many people connected to be considered for grants to connect the final mile. But there is still enough people who are not connected that it makes a difference. So I think we have about 90, like Brian said, about 90 people on our list of people who have reached out and said, we would be interested in internet if it were run to our house.
Any idea how many have school-age children?
I don't know those details. Nope.
But the library runs that program. They say their hotspots, when they present to us, their hotspots are out. I feel like there's a program for people with school-age children as well to get
I think
hotspots.
T-Mobile might have had a program or something like that.
Yeah. I'm not really too sure. What else, Jessica? What else out there in the world of finance committee?
Well, we purchased the fire trucks. We got the grant. The chief received a grant for about $475,000 to purchase a fire truck, and the town has to commit a 5% match to that. So we anticipate it'll either come from ARPA funding or it'll come from a town meeting in the future. We won't see this truck for another 2 years. So those are details to be ironed out. And then when he received the funding for the grant, it was under very specific guidelines that he could use the funding for this grant. And it didn't address the original issues that he had. And the original goal he had with the grant was to replace a different fire truck than what he is able, well, he's replacing the fire truck that he has to replace, which is a forestry truck from the 1980s. And but he was also anticipating to use the money to fund a truck that would also replace a different engine, so it would be like an engine taker. But this truck, given the constraints of the building that we have, they would have to build 2 separate trucks to meet the needs. So the chief took the funding that he received at the town meeting to purchase that second fire truck to replace the engine.
All right, I guess I got a couple of questions for the chief, but, I mean, that forestry truck that is replacing is a pickup truck, I think.
No, I think the
No.
tanker truck.
It's a tank.
It is? Oh, it is a
Forestry
tank?
tanker, yeah.
Yep,
Oh, the
it's
tank, okay. the
yes.
tank truck.
Yeah, no, it's not a pickup truck. It is a tank truck.
Okay.
It's at the public safety building.
Got it.
Definitely looks like it belongs in a parade or a museum.
They put a picture on it
Yeah.
on social media.
Yeah, I did.
And so that the cost to the town will be approximately, what, $24,000?
Yeah, for the truck that we're getting the grant for, it'll
For the
be about
grant.
$24,000.
Mhm.
And the town also approved the truck at the annual town meeting for the $600,000,
$699.
$699.
Yes,
And that's a lease to purchase, right?
correct. Yes,
Makes it a little easier.
yes. Well, the terms will definitely be more manageable than creating a ban and then having equipment that we no longer find useful, that we're still paying for, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, hopefully we get the town gets on track, I should say,
Yeah,
with their ambulances at least, so that way they're not out of service and
Right.
the town still.
and the
owes
way
money.
that it's looking is that, with the most recent repairs that the fire chief has done on the ambulance, we actually might be able, for a period of time, be able to get 3 ambulances operational in town. Once the new one comes in, that's what, as long as nothing else happens to the older ambulance, we believe that, that one can be held on standby for third calls or, mutual aid, so that would just increase our ability to respond to calls and increase, billing revenue as well. So we're hoping when that new ambulance comes in, probably a year and a half from now, that will be our situation. Yeah. All right.
Anybody have anything else? Mr. Andrews?
Point of order.
It's
So,
not a town meeting.
it might be a little late, a little cautionary, but, how is this meeting constituted for this time frame when there's a 5:30 meeting for the, one committee, and then this committee at 6:30, and right now, there's another one starting upstairs? How does that all get stacked in? And how does that happen? And,
They,
I think it's. feels
every
like
committee
it's-
is responsible for their own meeting days and
I think it's
times.
discourteous. I said this at the last meeting. I called for comity. Okay, comity, kindly consideration of others, so that other people can know and be able to respond. To be 3 meetings back to back is discourteous. So
How many committees and boards are in town?
I couldn't answer that.
It's more than a
Maybe
dozen.
Jessica could.
Probably 20.
But
20.
I think, kindly consider, I'm asking for more and comity.
Mhm.
Okay, more from you guys. I know
But don't you
time.
think, I'm gonna speak
And
plainly
comity.
here, if you don't mind, but
So-
we're all volunteers here.
I
And when
understand.
you talk about being kind and,
I'm saying that it's the
you know,
only way to
this,
be-
this fits into our schedule as being volunteers for the town.
I get it, totally.
You know, I mean, we can't, we really, I know I can't concern myself what another committee or board does at any other time.
Well, I think working
Especially since
together
we
could
only
be a
see
good
one or
thing.
2 people at a meeting at the most.
Yeah,
We have a,
you know, if the seats were packed every
Yeah.
meeting, you know.
Well, even if it's not, I'm here.
yeah, that's
So
fine.
for this one soul, I'm saying, I
So
feel.
you're saying you want the meeting set up for your schedule?
Yes. No, I think consideration for the, it's not just me.
I'm sorry.
Okay, maybe
Maybe he
we
should
have
talk
some discussion about that.
This, we're going in my third budget cycle here as a finance committee, and, I mean, I could be mistaken, but I think this is your first time here. We usually have Mr. Lipson,
No,
and- and
What I
it's,
joined at the hip.
it's
But-
not, we don't really get a lot, other than the departments that come in here to present, there's not a lot of
I'm just
folks.
trying to be an advocate for the town growing into a better community all the way around. Through
If-
comity and kindly consideration of others and coming together.
We have
We
that.
need community. We
Have
need
you
I-
somebody,
asked the other,
I agree.
have you asked the other committees?
I'm going door to
Because the
door.
finance
going door to
committee,
door.
I would say, is one of the.
I want a crusade.
You gotta remember, we are one of the few that, you know, follows the letters
Don't
here.
worry why it has to.
We put it on the YouTube,
It's
it's,
not about making you wrong.
committee
It's
meeting
about
minutes are
Let's
posted.
getting more people involved. I mean,
Yeah, nothing wrong
what
with that.
could lead this town forward is the town.
Mm.
Don't close them out. They got the answers.
Well, I think what you're preaching to the choir, we're the ones that are involved.
So bring them in by transparency, and then everybody's involved. That's how you circle the wagons up.
No, understood, I
Thank you,
appreciate,
gentlemen.
thank you, I appreciate your time and comments.
Thank you.
Make a motion, we adjourn the meeting. We're ready.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Dan,
Great.
thank you
You got something for me,
and your wife
and your wife? Well, thank you.
for your participation in that,
Oh, really?
Boy Scouts.
Oh, and the National Night Out?
Yeah.
Okay, great.